Hello everybody. Gage says it's empty. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, guys, we're going to do this one from, originally as you see on the top of the label here, it says Williamsburg Alewerks. But over on the side note here, the little logo says Alewerks Brewing Company. So I think this was done about the time they were transitioning from Williamsburg Alewerks just to Alewerks Brewing, because it's got both names on the bottle. Guys, I've reviewed this several times, like 5 years ago and 3 years ago. I actually bought this bottle and I've had it in the fridge. I don't see any kind of dating or vintage on the label. Don't see anything on the bottle. We'll come back and take a closer look to see if there's any kind of ink stamp on the bottle once we get the beer out of it. But I don't know what vintage it is right now, guys. I have no idea. I wish, and they may be putting that on the label now. This is definitely not a fresh bottle. I've had it for a while. It's been downstairs in the cellaring fridge for quite a while. So, with that being said, it is a 9%er. It seems like they're keeping, when I look at Untapped for the different years it's been produced, looks like most of them, or if not all, are in the 9% range. So it looks like sometimes the the IBUs change a little bit, but to me it looks like they're still producing this beer every year. So this is, whatever vintage it is, re-review for 2019. Today is February the 12th, 2019. So I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about, so we're going to go ahead and jump in and get this one into the glass and see what it brings to the table. I got these plants so close I don't have room to swing my opener. Nice hiss. Little bit of smoke coming out of it. Guys, we're going to pour this fairly. It's not a super huge beer, but 9%. We're going to go down the center unless it starts producing a monster head. So, enough there for the other half. It's about a finger of head on that pour, and this is considered a porter, and I can see some red ruby tinges on the thin part of the glass down here, guys. So not quite to the dark pitch black stout characteristics. To the nose we go. See if we can get any bourbon barrel notes. Yeah, I'm getting a little. I'm still getting some bourbon barrel notes. Hints of vanilla, coconut, rich roasted malt, molasses. Smells very, very nice. It's got a wonderful aroma to it, guys. And I still don't think I can see anything in the bottle. Let me look and see if I can see any kind of dating code or anything on there. I'm not seeing anything on the bottle here, guys, now that the beer is poured out on the top part there. So I have not a clue of what vintage that I'm drinking here, guys. So hopefully they've corrected that now that they're still producing this. Anybody that's had the newer version of this, whether it probably not got a 2019 out yet. I don't know what part of the year that they actually do this beer, but I think there is a 2018 version out. So if anybody's had that or seen that and it has a date on it, you might put that in the comments that they're dating it now. But it is what it is. Wonderful aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh, that's very nice. Big time vanilla, coconut, a little bit of chocolate, some molasses, some bourbon. That's awesome. Now guys, I didn't go back and look at either one of the reviews I did. I'm doing this like first time I've ever had it. The only drawback of this, I don't know what year it is. Wow, that's delicious. That is very, very tasty, guys. If I was guessing, I would think this would be at least a 2016 version or older, somewhere in that area there, guys. So, about the time they were switching their names from Williamsburg Alewerks just to Alewerks Brewing, because it's got both on this label here, and I don't think the new labels has Williamsburg on it. I'm not sure because I haven't seen a new one, but that's just what I'm guessing. I think they dropped the Williamsburg. But anyway, it's right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up, and we'll come back and give you a grade. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sitting on about 45 minutes or so. I looked at the bottle again now that everything is out of the bottle and there is absolutely no date or vintage on it anywhere. So hopefully they've corrected that. That would be a deterrent from buying the beer. They're big enough to put a vintage on the label, guys. Unless they're wanting to use those same labels year after year after year after year, they need to get a machine if that's what that's what their intentions are, where they can put some kind of date or vintage on the bottle somewhere. There's absolutely nothing on this, so I don't have a clue of what vintage this beer is. It's still good, and being a 9% bourbon barrel porter, it's going to keep for a long time. But I want to know that. I mean, say you want to do a vertical from 2 different years, and if you don't have that on there, how are you going to do it? I mean, you can pick one up and put the date that you bought it, but doesn't mean it's that year's or the previous years. I mean, some of this stuff could be sitting on the shelf for a while. I mean, I don't just want to have that. That's just my OCD, guys. Y'all know how I am, and I think they are big enough to do that now. So, especially since they've been in business as long as they have, and they're producing these beers year after year after year, that would be a deterrent for me from purchasing the beer again. So, not knowing how old the beer is. But anyway, I still think it's a very, very tasty beer. Nice lacing that's left on the glass. Wonderful aroma, wonderful taste. The bourbon, the vanilla, the coconut, molasses. Not getting a lot of dark fruit, but it's got a whole lot of flavors going on with this beer. And the bourbon too, very, very tasty. Very enjoyable beer. And the bourbon notes, now that it's warmed up, are really, really nice. Let's do the final chug. I'm not going to leave any of that. It did have a heavy sediment in the bottom of the bottle. A big cakey layer on the very bottom here. Awesome beer. It is very, very tasty. I do think this is an A beer, guys. I'm going to give it the A. 95 for me, right down the middle of the A category. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.27 out of 5, which is in their outstanding range. I would agree with that. Not quite to the 10. If it had the vintage on it, I might even consider giving it a little bit better grade, but it does not. So that's the biggest reason why it's not getting a better grade than it is. It could possibly be a 10 beer if they would put some other kind of information on the label as far as dating on it. So over to Untapped, they have it at 4.31. That's in their A category also. Very tasty beer, guys. It's definitely worth picking up. I don't know what the distribution is for these guys, how far out of Virginia that they do go. But if you can get your hands on one and you like this style of beer, this would be a very tasty one to pick up. So hopefully, like I said, they are dating, put some kind of vintage or dating on it now. So with that being said, if you've had the Bourbon Barrel Porter from Alewerks Brewing Company, let me know what you think. And if you know if they're dating their stuff now, you might want to also add those comments in it too. And so a little peace of mind for everybody. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.